What is going on, guys? SKITZ here, back with episode 13 of our Coffee Talk series. I thought I would bring Talia along for this one. We gathered up 10 of the most current questions. So I'm going to run through these. She's going to ask the question coming from your guys' point of view, and I'm going to answer it in the best way possible. If you have any other questions or need to know anything else going forward from this, make sure you put a comment in the comments section, and I will knock it out as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So if you are new to these coffee talks, what they are, they're different from my short and sweet guides. These are made for your commute, if you're at work or in the gym or driving to work, coming home, anything like that, when you have 35, 45, an hour to kill, depending on how much information we have, how much time we have, and basically if the information warrants me going a little bit extra time, we're going to do that. So sit back, relax, wherever you're listening from, morning, noon, night. Love you guys, and let's jump into it right now.
So when is the best time to list my items on the auction house?
Typically during Tuesday reset, Wednesday reset is phenomenal, because when you go into your class hall, every Tuesday during reset, you're going to open up your class chest, your hall, and you're going to be able to loot a potential piece of gear with all kinds of opportunities, meaning there could be a slot for gems, there could be an opportunity for you to enchant that item, all kinds of consumables and gems and enchants and herbs, you name it, they fly during Tuesday, Wednesday reset, because not only can you scoop up new items in your class hall, but you can kill the world boss that resets. All of your mythic progression has reset with Nighthold, Emerald Nightmare, and all of your mythic pluses, depending on the affixes during the week, depend on how much people are running content throughout the week. But Tuesday, Wednesday reset is phenomenal for you to list all of your items on the auction house. That's more of your consumables. If it's mounts or rare items or something that's not time sensitive or dependent, you can list that really at any time, but we'll go over that in another question here in the coffee talk. But for your consumables, your enchants, your fell slate, your gems, pretty much 90% of everything you're farming right now, Tuesday, Wednesday reset is phenomenal.
Do I really have to monitor my auctions?
Absolutely. So depending on what you throw on the auction house, if it's hot commodities, if it's your fell slate, your herbs, your prolonged power potions, your consumables, your runes, your everything like that, that is so time dependent that I know everybody says I invested this much SKITZ or 200K or 200K in this. If you think you're going to log on Tuesday reset and just chuck 30 stacks of one of Quick Dawn Light or Potion of Prolonged Power or whatever it is you're listing and it's going to sell, you're mistaken, because everybody else knows that, hey, a lot more of my items have been selling during Tuesday, Wednesday reset, and or they've caught on to some of these videos where I'm explaining that Tuesday, Wednesday is indeed the best time to list your auctions. But you have to be on top of it, and you have to relist and relist and relist. Even if you set up maybe like an hour or two during the peak hours, you have to set that time to relist and then check the auctions regularly, because if not, guys, someone else is going to walk up on you, undercut you without you knowing, and then you're going to come back from the movies 7 hours later, check your auctions like I did this Tuesday to see, and I'm about 10 slots back from the people that were selling it. So not only do you have to list on Tuesday, Wednesday during the early part of the week, but it is very, very crucial that you keep all of your items listed and relisted during peak hours. Also, if you have a rare mount or transmog or glorious leg plates or anything like that that is uncommon, and you're farming for hours and you scoop this up and there's only one or two on the auction house, you can list that up at whatever hours you want. I would just recommend putting a 48-hour cap on that, because the likelihood of somebody coming with that same item and undercutting you, it's very unlikely. So for the more common items, you guys need to relist during peak hours, and for the more the rarer items in the game, you can let those marinate on the auction house for a little bit longer. You can set them for a 24 or 48 hour auction house, and then just let those go.
So, do you list your auction durations in 12, 24, or 48 hours?
Also a great question and a very common question. If it's any of my gems or any of the hot commodities, like I explained, stuff that's selling very, very well and fast throughout peak hours of certain days, that's 12 hours, no brainer. The only time I want to bump it up to 24 or 48 is if I am going out of town for a little bit and I know that the auctions will eventually catch up because of how fast the item is selling, and if anybody were to undercut me, those would sell out and then mine would sell. Or if it was an item, like I said, that was so rare, like a mount or something that I knew nobody else had, like a spectral tiger or the rooster mount, anything like that that's very, very uncommon on the auction house, you can list those at 24 or 48 hours just to have them up at all times, because those are more of the items that they're not going to sell every day, but once they do sell, it's going to be a crazy good profit, almost like your transmog or your pet markets. So 12 is for all of my gems. If you guys want to put it into that perspective, all like my cut gems, my uncut gems, I know all of the enchants, the potions, those sell so fast, and if they aren't selling, you're going to undercut, relist way before the 12-hour mark anyway. So 12 hours for the hot commodities, 24 and 48 for the items that you can just leave and more of just set it and forget it.
What is your favorite item to farm currently?
Currently right now in patch 7.2, and I know 7.2.5 and 7.3 Tomb will be released soon, but at the current state of the bot ban wave plus server hop getting crushed into the ground, Fell Slate is absolutely amazing to me. I love drinking my coffee, going out, farming Fell Slate, because it's a true, this is a cooking term, but a head to tail type of material in World of Warcraft. And what I mean by that is it's so universal that the prices have rebounded. You can sell it raw, and or you can prospect it. And this is my favorite thing to do. If you ever pop into my live stream, you will see me either doing viewer carries or viewer raids, or I'll be mass prospecting Fell Slate, because it's a win-win-win for me, right? Because if you mass prospect, you get one of three things. You're going to get gem chips, you're going to get lesser quality gems, and you're going to get rare gems like your Masterful Shadow Rubies. The uncut version would be the Shadow Ruby, the Eye of the Prophecy, the Dawnlight, the Sapphires. All of those you're going to obtain as well. So with these three things, you're going to craft your gems, which are going to sell for a ridiculous amount of gold. Your gem chips, I will show you guys right now in game. You're going to want to find a rank 3 cook, and or if you guys are scooping up the plans yourself from Nami, if he's not burning everything that you give him, eventually you will end up with rank 3 Nightborn delicacy platters. These sell very well. I sell these and the Barracuda food on Tuesday and Wednesday because, again, the mythic progression, everybody buying up consumables. But the Fell Slate, the gem sell. If I don't sell the gems, I have the gem chips I can cook, or I can sell the gem chips raw, which also sell for a ridiculous amount of gold. So worst case scenario, you will get the lesser quality gems, and I'll show you guys right now all of these, right? Your Sky Stones, your Spinels, all of your Zunites, all of those. You can craft these into necks, into rings. You can obliterate them. Obliterum prices are going up. You can do all kinds of great stuff with these, and these are like the very bottom of the barrel materials from the Fell Slate. So worst case scenario, you can, craft these into necks and rings, like I said, and vendor them, but I would definitely send them over to an enchanter, to DE. You can scoop up those materials and then sell those raw or make enchants. So Fell Slate right now is amazing. Again, the prices are really low on some realms, and that's why I'm going out and I'm just buying up a lot of Fell Slate to supplement my prospecting. I go out and farm when I'm bored, when I'm off stream, when I'm hanging out. That's my favorite farm right now. And if I wasn't a level 110, if I was a lower level, if you guys are watching right now and you're level 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever, I go out into Panda, I farm the equivalent, you know what I mean? I can go out and farm either ghost iron ore, some copper ore even sells well, you know what I mean? So there's definitely any of my raw materials, whether it's skinning or fell slate or herbing, I enjoy those farms, but currently right now, fell slate is just a very multi-purpose material that's selling for well raw, and like I said, you can do all of those other things to it, manipulate it to make great gold with that.
What professions do you recommend for both newer and older players?
Another very common question that I get all the time, and people want to make a lot of gold, but the thing is, your realm and your realm groups, and whether you're NA or EU, it's going to be dependent on a lot of things and what is popping off really on your current realm. So what I always recommend for new players, we're going to start there, what I recommend you guys to do is to use 2 gathering professions. So as an example, skinning, mining, herbing, skinning, because not only are you going to be able to farm raw materials and sell them for a starting capital to get you started with gold making and gold farming as a whole. I recommend you guys get up to about 100k gold, and then you can start making moves and flipping items and doing all kinds of stuff that doesn't require you to have, you know, a large sum of gold. So basically what I'm telling you guys to do is when you first start off playing World of Warcraft is to scoop up 2 gathering professions. Not only will you be able to sell those for a decent amount of gold because people are leveling up crafting professions, like jewel crafting, they'll be using the herbs. Alchemy will be using all of the herbs, for an example, and that's if they go by their own method of leveling those professions. So I have a 1 to 800 jewel crafting guide up. You don't have to use any reputation, any bloods, nothing. 1 to 800 with just lesser quality gems. So if you guys want to check that out, that is up on my YouTube channel as well. So also they give you experience. Another big point for newer players, while you pick 2 gathering professions and you're leveling those up, you're also going to be leveling your character. They give a pretty decent amount of experience per pick. So if you pick herbs or you mine copper ore or whatever whatever zone you're in leveling up, that gives a crazy amount of experience. So you can't beat it. You're out leveling. You know, you see a lot of herbs and a lot of vines to mine. I would definitely scoop all of that up, and then every time you come back into the major city, throw it up on the auction house, and before you know it, you'll go back out, level up a little bit more, and your auctions will be selling. It's very lucrative. So for the newer players, that's what I recommend. For the older players, or the players that have successfully reached a comfortable amount of gold, I would drop either, mining or herbing or whatever you choose to pick up a profession that complements that profession. And what I mean by that is all of my jewel crafting, all of my gems are self-funded by my miner, right? Because I mine fell slate, laystone, I prospect that if I want, and then I can craft and do all kinds of great stuff. Alchemists, they are directly, supported by the herbalists because they use up all the herbs, and you guys can craft. You get the picture. So that's going to be a time for you at that point in time to check all of the markets on your realm, and then you'll be able to see at that point what is lucrative and what you want to kind of dive into, whether it's enchanting or inscription or jewel crafting or whatever it is. And whenever you're listening to this coffee talk, it could change and they could add and hot fix some things in there. So hope that kind of made sense. The newer characters, make sure you're focused on leveling up to 110. That's going to be priority, because at 110 you can go back and you can do a lot more lucrative farms, not only on the auction house, but you can farm materials in the open world a lot faster because you're a lot more powerful. So for the newer players, scoop up 2 gathering professions, sell all of that, make sure you get up to a good starting capital, and then you can actually start gold goblining, I guess you guys can say it. And then later on you get in 110, or if you're comfortable with an 800 profession, or if you have 2 800 professions, you can drop one and pick up something to supplement that gathering profession, so you guys can make a lot more gold.
What is the best Legion shoulder enchant?
The best Legion shoulder enchant right now, and I guess it's probably been this way for the past couple months, is still the boon of the Blood Hunter. If I look at my shoulders right now, it is enchanted with the Blood Hunter, and I will actually move back here on my map and show you guys where you can scoop it up. So in the Broken Isles, in Azuna, down here in the Warden's Readout, Revered Reputation will land you the boon of the Blood Hunter enchant. That will drop the Blood Hunter's Quarry, and when you open those up, that is your Blood of Sargeras, which is very, very, very lucrative at the moment because they nerfed the Centenax portal farm. If you guys haven't noticed, I've never actually, since I've been out there and farmed it a couple times, I don't think I've ever seen these drop anymore. The Centenax beacons, I have a lot of the petrification and the fell growth, but all of the blood ones have disappeared, you know, and the best way to farm bloods is not only through skinning, but I think rank 3 Fellwort farms for herbalists, and then if you guys run your mythic zeros, I like to call them, not your keystone mythics, but just your regular mythics and your random Legion heroics. If you spam those throughout the week, make sure you're knocking out your world quests. That is a great way to farm a lot of blood. So definitely the best Legion shoulder enchant is the boon of the Blood Hunter. The bloods are very valuable, not only in my main profession for jewel crafting, but anything that requires you to use one blood to craft. If you don't outsource all of your crafting materials, so for instance, I make about 20 gems per week. I have about 1,000 gems made per week by, you know, somebody else throughout the week. Whether it's 10 other jewel crafters or 20 other jewel crafters, I make sure I'm using somebody else's bloods for my cuts because it's very rare now to find people with 200, 300, 400 bloods. So that's definitely the best Legion shoulder enchant at the moment while we're on this topic. If you guys are listening to this and you're not 110, a very, very, very slick way to get around and to be able to manipulate to use shoulder enchants on lower level characters. I think at level 99 you can get into the Broken Isle, and it's going to be, what you're going to do basically is, if you have a main character that you farmed the reputation, whether it's the boon of the Blood Hunter or any reputation that you farmed up that gives you the access to the shoulder enchant on your main account, you're going to buy BOE shoulder for the character that you're leveling, or you can use the heirloom gear and enchant that. Once you send it over to your character, regardless of the reputation he or she has, you're going to be able to use that shoulder enchant. So it's been under the rug. I put a video out, people have been talking about it, but a lot of people have not really taken onto this, or they've forgotten, or they've been lazy. But I'm going to give you a prime example. If you level from 100 to 110 with the boon of the Blood Hunter on, think about all of the gold possibilities and all of the, you know, bloods you're going to have once you get to 110 through 10 levels, through farming, through random drop chances for you to get bloods. You guys can see how powerful it is, so make sure you take advantage of that.
What do you do if someone drastically undercuts you?
So what I usually do is I politely whisper somebody and I say, do you need help using the auction house? I'm joking, but I've done that before during like certain circumstances. I do not recommend, please do not whisper anybody, but what's happening is people don't understand the value and how fast certain items sell during Tuesday, Wednesday reset. Example right here, if you guys are driving or you can't look at the screen, I'm going to explain to you right now, kind of paint you a picture with words. But the Quick Dawn lights, mine are listed 4 stacks of 1 for almost 3,000 gold per. There's somebody undercutting me 4 stacks of 1 for the same amount but a copper less, and then some jackwagon came behind this guy or girl and undercut by another 600 gold plus. So he has 5 stacks of 1 listed at 2,300, and ours are around 3,000 gold. So what do you do here, right? Do you undercut him and you start this whole debacle throughout the week of undercut and undercut or undercut? Or do you let these gems sell out and you just undercut the gentleman or the girl that undercut you at 3,000? So right now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to feed into this quick dawn light trend of it pretty much crashing and going back down. I'm going to leave my gems up. I know it's still early in the week. These gems sell throughout the entire day and through mythic progression and raids and the mage tower and doing all of that kind of stuff. They are going to sell. So it's much easier and it's very, very beneficial for you guys to just wait out certain storms of people not knowing how to use the auction house or just trying to get a quick flip to make some quick gold, you know, 100 gold profit. For instance, if quick dawn lights were 1900 gold and this guy had 5 bloods, he could craft them and just sell them for 100 or 200 gold more, regardless of what the actual price of the materials and the gem was going for in the auction house. So they're not playing into undercutting us, they're playing into just getting rid of them. You know, if they're a botter or they're just in it for the quick gold, whatever the case may be, do not feed into it. You're in it for the long run. Just make sure that your gems are indeed listed for the cheapest, where the majority, the median is of what everything is selling at.
What site should I use if I'm unsure of an item price?
150% the Undermining Journal. This is a great resource for not only new players but older players. When you first log in to the Undermining Journal, it's going to make you pick either EU or NA. You will pick your realm group and then your actual realm, and then it's going to give you the best information ever. It updates every hour and it tells you when the next update is coming. It gives you the top sellers on your realm of what they're selling, some potential deals. It's pretty much the best source for your auction house, all the statistics and everything, all the data in World of Warcraft. So you can search by deals, some unusuals. You can see what is currently selling for the most amount of gold from the blood of Sargeras, the vendor in Dalaran. You can see what's currently selling on the auction house, what you can trade in your bloods for, all kinds of great stuff. So when you are buying a mount or a pet, or you're going to list items and you don't know what they've been going for, not only excuse me, today, but last week or last month, you can check all the trends, you can search specifics. You get lost in here, guys. It's almost like the WoW economy Reddit. I recommend you guys check that out as well. If you go to Reddit and search WoW economy, tell them SKITZ sent you. Great resource for all kinds of awesome material. But the Undermining Journal is going to be your one-stop shop for everything stats and data related in World of Warcraft.
What gold making can be accomplished through your order hall?
So I put this question in here because a lot of people that didn't have you know, auction house add-ons or were using jewel crafting like my other previous guides, or had any kind of knowledge and more had a PvE grasp on the game during Legion right now, I thought I would go over some quick steps, 2 quick steps in your order hall to maximize the gold you're making. First and foremost, every time that you have a gold related quest up here, not the estimated gold value, and the Garrison Commander is the add-on I'm using right here. It will give you the percentages, and after you click any of these, it will actually let you choose from different percentages, and it'll match up different characters in here for your missions. So basically right here you have your gold missions, and if you notice, if you click on it, guys, the bonus roll, I'm not gonna run this mission right now because I only have at max 155% chance on completion with the bonus roll, but the gold that it gives you is awesome. 700 gold, cool. But every single time the bonus roll is maxed out, if you have a 200% chance of winning, of completing this mission, 100% will go to the mission, 100% to the bonus roll. It will give you 1500 gold every single time. every single time. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that. That goes kind of, you know, swept under the rug. Most people still don't know about that or have forgotten about it. So make sure when you're doing your gold related quests to max them out for the best percentage possible so you can get the 1500 gold, the money reward from the bonus roll. Number 2, with your followers, terrible example, I kind of messed this up, but I messed it up so you guys didn't have to do it. Right now I have Earth Fury with me as a shaman. He is my follower, my companion, and my combat ally. And what you want to have equipped if you have 2 slots is 2 or 3 gold related sockets, right? These are your champion's armor, your champion armor, and the necklace of endless memories. It grants 25 gold when you complete a world quest with my combat ally. There's one for, I believe, 50 gold, and then one for 25 gold, but it's named something different. You cannot double them up, but you can put one of each there. So when you're out farming bloods with your Boon of the Blood Hunter enchant, you are knocking out all your world quests. You're going to be killing multiple birds with 1 stone. You have to have these 2 things equipped in your order hall. It's going to just, you know, mildly increase your gold per day, per week, per month. But at the end of it, it all adds up. I promise you guys, you will see a difference. So make sure you guys take advantage of those 2 things inside of your order hall.
How do you gain your initial gold capital?
The best way to get off the ground and running with your initial gold capital, and what I mean by that is to be successful as a gold goblin and to start flipping materials and to start investing and making more gold, I recommend at least having 100k. That will leave you a little bit of room for error, or if you mess up and you know you can't quite get back on your feet, 100k will get you in the best possible position basically to get rolling. I recommend scooping up 2 gathering professions. Like I said, if you're brand new to WoW and you're leveling up your characters, gathering professions not only are going to give you materials throughout all of the content you level through, they're going to be everywhere. They give you a vast amount of experience, plus what you're going to be able to get for those on the auction house, and they do sell relatively well because a lot of people are leveling up their professions in their whichever way they choose. So 2 gathering professions will get you off the ground and running. Not only if you're level 110 now and you don't need to level, still my go-to would be 2 of those. And then once you get up to about 100k plus and you feel comfortable with dropping one of the 2 gathering professions to pick up a crafting profession to supplement that, I have no problem whatsoever with that. So this wrapped up our 13th episode of our coffee talk. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I will knock them out as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I will put my sub button in the bottom left, and I will put my coffee talk playlist in the bottom right. There are many, many more of these, some longer, some shorter, but they're all made for your commute. I love you guys. Have a great day. Check me out on my live stream, twitch.tv/SKITZ. I am live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm off Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I believe is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock a.m. The next day for my European population. I think it's 1 a.m. CEST, if I'm not mistaken. But if anybody from my European population has the exact time, we can just end that now, and then we can settle that once and for all. So I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Make sure you have a great morning, noon, night, wherever you are tuning in from, and I will see you guys later. Love you guys. Peace.